নমস্কাৰ ষ্টাডি হাব নিউ ইউটিউব চেনেলটোলৈ আপোনালোক সকলোকে পুনৰবাৰ স্বাগতম জনাইছোঁ। আমি কৃষ্ণকান্ত সন্দিকৈ ৰাজ্যিক বিশ্ববিদ্যালয়ৰ ডিগ্ৰী ফাৰ্ষ্ট ছেমিষ্টাৰ জুলাই 2024 এছাইনমেণ্টসমূহৰ উত্তৰসমূহ আলোচনা কৰি আছোঁ। আমি ইতিমধ্যে বহুকেইটা এছাইনমেণ্টৰ উত্তৰ আলোচনা কৰিলোঁ। আপোনালোকে এতিয়াও যদি লিখা নাই, আমাৰ চেনেলৰ পৰা নিজৰ এছাইনমেণ্টসমূহৰ উত্তৰসমূহ লিখি ল'ব। সময় নিচেই চমু চাপিছে, যিমান পাৰে সোনকালে আপোনালোকৰ নিজৰ এছাইনমেণ্টসমূহৰ উত্তৰসমূহ লিখি ৰাখিব। আজি আমি আলোচনা কৰিবলৈ লৈছোঁ ডিগ্ৰী ফাৰ্ষ্ট ছেমিষ্টাৰৰ জেনেৰেল ইংলিছ এছাইনমেণ্টৰ প্ৰথম প্ৰশ্নৰ উত্তৰটো। জেনেৰেল ইংলিছ এছাইনমেণ্টৰ 1 নম্বৰ কুৱেশ্যনটো আছিল এক্সপ্লেইন দ্য পয়েম দ্য চলিটিউড of Alexander Selkirk by highlighting its major themes. Answer: The Solitude of Alexander Selkirk by William Cowper is a powerful and reflective poem that explores themes of isolation, self-reliance, and the human condition. The poem is inspired by the life of Alexander Selkirk, a Scottish sailor who was marooned on a desert island in the early 18th century. While the historical context of Selkirk's isolation provides the backdrop, Cowper uses it as a metaphor for the broader human experience of solitude and self-discovery. Themes of isolation and solitude. At the core of Cowper's poem is the theme of isolation, which is explored through the experience of Alexander Selkirk. The poet uses Selkirk's physical solitude on the island to delve into the emotional and psychological aspects of being alone. The island, which is both a place of beauty and desolation, becomes a symbol of the human condition when stripped of social interaction. Selkirk's physical separation from society leads him to a profound encounter with nature and in turn with himself. Cowper suggests that in solitude an individual is forced to confront their inner self and the existential realities of life. The isolation is initially harassing and overwhelming for Selkirk, but as the poem progresses, there is a shift in his perspective. The solitary life on the island forces Selkirk to rely entirely on his own resources and strengths, allowing him to discover a new relationship with the natural world. Cowper writes, "He was a man who had known how to be happy alone." This line reflects the journey of personal growth that comes through isolation. Though the first part of his solitude is marked by struggle, the poem suggests that isolation has the potential to foster self-reliance and spiritual reflection. Theme of self-reliance and the human spirit. Another important theme in the poem is the idea of self-reliance. After being marooned on the island, Selkirk has no choice but to survive independently. This is a key point in Cowper's portrayal of human resilience. Selkirk must learn to use the limited resources available to him, finding food, shelter, and tools from the island's natural environment. Cooper shows that although human beings thrive in social settings, the human spirit has an extraordinary ability to adapt and overcome challenges when left alone. As Selkirk spends more time on the island, he begins to see the natural world not as an adversary but as companion. Cowper uses nature as both a literal and metaphorical reflection of the internal state of the human mind. The island is described in vibrant, vivid terms with large descriptions of the landscape, animals, and seas, which help convey the idea that nature can be a source of strength and solace. This relationship with nature reflects the theme of the self-reliant individual who, in the absence of society, turns to the natural world for support and guidance. Theme of reflection and transcendence. The poem also explores the theme of transcendence through reflection. Selkirk's isolation leads him to a spiritual and philosophical awakening. As he contemplates his situation, he reflects on his past life and the fleeting nature of human achievements. Cowper writes, "The man who is alone with his thoughts is the master of his fate." Here, the poet suggests that by retreating from the distractions of society, Selkirk can come closer to understanding the deeper truths of life. Selkirk's transformation on the island is not only physical but inten- intellectual and spiritual. Cowper highlights the idea that solitude, while difficult, can ultimately be a path but enlightenment. The poet suggests that the very isolation that seems so dire at first can become a source of peace as it forces the individual to contemplate existence on a deeper level away from the noise of everyday life. Theme of nature's healing power. Finally, Cowper emphasizes the healing power of nature as Selkirk becomes more attuned to his surroundings. He finds solace in the simplicity of life of the island. Cowper suggests that nature has the ability to soothe and restore the human soul in a world of growing materialism and societal demands. Nature becomes a Selkirk's connection to nature. The poem reminds readers of the therapeutic potential of solitude and the importance of reconnecting with the natural world. In conclusion, the solitude of Alexander Selkirk is a meditation on solitude and the inner strength that can emerge from isolation. Cowper uses Selkirk's experience as a way to explore broader themes about the human spirit, self-reliance, and the search for meaning. The poem suggests that while human beings are social creatures by nature, there is also profound wisdom and growth to be found in moments of isolation. Through reflection and a deep connection with nature, the human soul can transcend the difficulties of life and emerge stronger and more self-aware. আৰু আজি আমি জেনেৰেল ইংলিছ এছাইনমেণ্টৰ প্ৰথম প্ৰশ্নৰ উত্তৰটো আলোচনা কৰিলোঁ। ইয়াৰ পিছৰ প্ৰশ্নটোৰ উত্তৰ পাবৰ কাৰণে আপোনালোকে চেনেলটো ছাবস্ক্ৰাইব কৰি ৰাখিব।